What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Around the Monitor for the week of February 12th. Don't know why that took so long. I saw the number 2 and I said, what month is 2? It's my birthday in 3 days. You think I'd remember that? I am your host, Zach. Joining me once again, we've got the world's #1 Psychonauts 2 fan, David.
Zach's going to be old with me.
Unfortunately, 1 foot in the grave, as they say. We've got the ace attorney and new notary boy, Pridge.
Woo. I got a stamp.
Crap, what did I say I was going to call you this week, Chris?
That's the intro. It's Thursday. You know what that means.
Sure do. And last but not least, we've got the newest emote on our Discord, the hockey sticks and sickle herself, Elise.
Yes, I am drinking Monster Energy with one hand and orange juice by the bottle with another.
Wow.
That's a power move.
That is-
I've never
The
seen
real
one.
shocking thing about this is neither of those have alcohol in them.
Are we all pulp free?
I was about to say, we got to get a pulp pull here going.
I like
free.
pulp.
I like pulp too.
If
Right.
I'm just drinking it, pulp free. If I'm using it for other like cooking and stuff, pulp.
Pound me
That
to a
being
pulp,
said,
you know what I'm saying?
if you're an extra pulp person, you're a monster.
Oh, that's true.
I can fuck with
love
some
it.
extra pulp though. I want to chew my drink, you know?
You disgust me.
I want to chew my drink.
You'll also notice everyone watching that Zach did not go ahead and give himself a background, so he's just in the green void again.
You know, one of these days I'll remember to do it.
One day.
But we always start the show with a trivia question to determine the order, and this week's trivia question is: in the news this week, we have an article that I fear will not get talked about, so I decided to put it into a trivia question. Terraria, you know, the hit game Terraria.
Yeah, not gonna talk about that.
It's been out for a long time. My question to y'all, obviously, how many copies has it sold?
11 million.
Okay. 11
Look,
million.
I'm going to go high. It's a game that's been out for 10 years and has been consistently selling pretty well since then, I believe.
Mhm.
I'm going to put it at like 19 million.
19 million.
Feeling really bad about saying 20 million now, but 20 million.
Oh, 20 million.
15 million.
15
Oh, no,
million.
I think I'm ruined.
Dan in the chat says 12 million. The correct answer: 30 million copies.
Jesus Christ.
Terraria.
Terraria?
Yes. I do believe that means the order is going to be Chris, followed by Elise, followed by Pridge, followed by David. Let's talk about
You
this
are
week's...
correct.
Amazed. I usually fuck that up. Let's talk about this week's topics. We've got CDPR's Red Engine, that is their game engine all their games run on, was hacked and sold online for $7 million. Riot Games CEO has finally been sued for sexual harassment and retaliation for sexual harassment. Silent Hill's composer hinted that we might see a new game we're looking forward to this summer, and Konami asked them to take the video down. Does this mean we're getting a new Silent Hill? Ubisoft said they're considering changing the name of Rainbow Six Quarantine. Yeah, you fucking think, Ubisoft? You think? God, blows my mind they're still working on that game. McDonald's includes Pokemon cards and Happy Meals, and adults are buying them all so children cannot enjoy them. Get out of the way, Nintendo. The DualSense controller is showing signs of its own drift. Terraria's developer, as mentioned before, got burned by Google so hard, and because of that, has now vowed to never put their game on Stadia. I think many people have done the same thing. Mass Effect Legendary Edition will include less butt shots of the game's famous character Miranda. #Gamers Rise. I don't know why I wrote that in there.
You know,
I know,
do.
I know. Epic shows off a new piece of tech that can make insanely good character models extremely fast. Warner Brothers has secured a patent for their Nemesis system featured in Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. HBO's Last of Us adaptation now has its Joel and Ellie in both Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. And last but not least, probably as we speak or maybe tomorrow, EA is going to decide the fate of Anthem. And will this game live?
I wish companies did this more. Like this is the day we'll let you know. It's either dead or it's coming out.
Well, to be fair, they didn't let us know. Somebody leaked
Yeah,
it to
I
the
know.
press, but yes, it is pretty insane. Matt in the chat said Did you say that somebody epically pwned CD Projekt Red?
Nice.
Got him.
Got him. Gamers rise.
Yeah, that's actually a good Gamers Rise joke. Chris, what would you like to talk about for the first topic of the show?
We're gonna do something that's unprecedented on Around the Monitor. We're gonna talk about the topic of the stream.
Whoa!
I know, right? For
Unbelievable.
the first topic, what a concept!
Usually it doesn't even get talked about at all, and I feel like an idiot.
I know. Let's talk about HBO's adaptation of The Last of Us, which I could have sworn it was a Netflix adaptation like a week ago, but whatever. So we now have our two primary casting choices. That is going to be Pedro Pascal as Joel, which I don't know if that's good casting or Pedro Pascal is just phenomenal, but I feel like that's good casting.
Mm.
And then Bella Ramsey, who was the little girl Mormont from
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. And assuming she can do a non-English accent, that's great casting.
Mm.
I'm very excited about this actually. And here's the thing, I really didn't think I was, but Last of Us is basically just already kind of a movie. Like,
Oh,
you know,
100%.
it's a game.
100%.
It's a game, but there are large set pieces where like I'm not playing much of a video game right now. I am unfortunate. I'm not looking forward to the eventual Last of Us 2 adaptation, but we'll cross that bridge when we are forced at gunpoint to do so.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that the fact that this is an HBO produced joint and it's featuring one very major actor and one sort of up and coming actor is first of all the exact kind of thing this show needs to be. That's perfect casting, a young up and coming star and a super well known person. That's how you should do this show. And also like the fact that it's being treated very seriously and like HBO is like, hey, this is a big deal. We were between Pedro Pascal and Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali for the role of Joel.
Yeah.
Like those are two banger picks.
Yeah.
And between that and like also we're hearing about all of these sort of major announcements of casting. I mean, literally just today, Jack Black for Claptrap of more stuff for video game movies and video game shows. I think that unlike how comic movies took about 20 years to really get off the ground with like just absolute garbage, and then finally, the high quality that the Marvel Cinematic Universe would give us, and the Dark Knight, and even Dark Knight Rises. Fire Rises, Jack.
God damn.
How do you get it?
They had to work it in.
I feel like we're seeing like Hollywood has gotten their heads out of their asses and it's like, okay, video game adaptations, assuming we can do them right, are going to make us an absolute crap ton of money. And picking more theatric games like The Last of Us, not Borderlands. Well, hey man, don't worry about that. Picking stuff like Uncharted. This is a really good way of doing this. And also the fact that we're getting major actors to do this is actually a really big deal. We're not just getting random schmoes. Because that'll, I mean, when you see a legitimate actor in something, you're like, oh, that's a bigger project. I'm very excited to see what we get, sort of like as this keeps spinning out. Maybe we'll finally get some of those famously canceled movies, like the Halo one or the Final Fantasy one, or the well, I guess we got the WoW movie. It was just terrible.
It was fine.
And most importantly, I'm very excited to see Steve Buscemi play Goofy in the Kingdom Hearts movie. Got it in.
That was such a nothing. I'm taking a point away from that.
What? You took away my Goofy topic. I had to get Goofy in somewhere.
Absolute worst. Here we go. Matt rebelling against me gives a point to Chris. Elise, save us from Goofy. What would you like to talk about for the second topic?
Nothing can save us from Goofy.
I want
Unfortunately.
to talk about the 1996 classic movie, a Goofy movie.
Yeah,
That's not a topic.
But it's a great movie.
It is a great
It's a great movie. It's a banger.
I've never actually seen it.
You're missing out.
What I actually want to talk about is Epic's new fucking character creator.
This is
is what
cool.
this fucking is.
This is cool.
Because this is amazing.
Mhm.
It is. I mean, we've seen this before with things like the VTuber creator thing and the there's something like 6 months ago that released, I think, that's basically a character creator that's tooled towards like artists for making fan art and making like things for indie games. But this is a new one, and it's a similar tool. It's basically a 3D modeler that is built in with face tools, but it's just amazing. They released a little 1 minute trailer demo thing with a bit of stuff. And they're touting this as it's called
The Meta Human Project or something like that,
Metahuman.
which is the
Metahuman
worst
Project.
name for this project, by the way. I'm like,
It's not good.
You
It's
guys-
not
It sounds
good.
like David Cage was involved.
But the project lead is saying I wouldn't call it a tool. It's a game that even children can play.
Ooh, I sure do
We'll
hate that.
see. We'll see if that remains to be true.
Mm,
But it's releasing in early access in a few months. We don't know exactly when, but in a few months. And if you haven't seen it, it's basically aiming for. They say we're not aiming to cross the uncanny valley. We're more targeting a Last of Us or Uncharted kind of look, which
Mhm.
like still is
yeah, I mean, it
pretty fucking
probably
amazing.
took people from Naughty Dog, I don't know how long to model those characters. So
Exactly. And they're saying it's going to take an hour or two to build a character,
mhm.
like with as much fidelity as you could ever ask for. And it, for some limitations, as of launch, or at least as of now, which is before launch,
Mhm.
They can't make teenagers or kids. They can't make really old people. But like what they've shown us, which obviously isn't a lot,
Mhm.
but is pretty impressive. And if their claims remain to be true, this looks fucking incredible. And I really hope that this is accessible to like indie devs,
Mhm.
accessible to like if they pull something like they did with the Unreal Engine,
Mhm.
which I believe has a system where basically if you're making less than a couple $1,000s, it's
Mhm.
free.
Yeah.
And then once you start making a couple $1,000s, it's like a cut of
Mhm.
your money, which means like for indie devs, definitely for like fan artists, for like source filmmaker people.
I mean,
You know?
I was just gonna say, wait till
Oh
wait till we
no.
get Honey Pop 3 and they're using this to make their character designs. One thing I am very excited to see is the Monster Factory episode that comes from this, because
Oh yes.
Oh no.
what kind of beautiful boy will they create? It remains to be seen. But in the present, it's Pridge's turn. What would you like to talk about?
I'd like to talk about the hype, the fail, the comeback, and then the maybe not comeback of Anthem.
Hey.
There it is.
So, actually, about 2 years ago to the month,
Mhm.
Electronic Arts, everyone's favorite EA, published an online multiplayer game developed by BioWare called Anthem.
Mhm.
Uh, it looked like it was supposed to be really cool, but as we've begun to learn in recent years, sometimes things that look cool in trailers don't actually end up being that good.
Fair.
Anthem is a great example of that. It was met with some pretty mediocre reviews. It was getting basically about 5s and 6s across the board, which, if you know anything about video game reviewers, means it got a 2. And basically it was pretty highly criticized for just being repetitive, shallow, and just essentially not that enjoyable.
Mhm.
So basically, but then what happened was about a year later, they announced that they were sort of reinvesting in the project. BioWare developed a sort of 30-person team to create what they were referring to as Anthem Next, which is basically just a series of changes
Mhm.
that they wanted to make to the game to try and revive it.
Mhm.
And as we've seen from things like Final Fantasy XIV and No Man's Sky, this can work. I wouldn't particularly call it common. Usually something that fails on launch tends to just stay failed.
Mhm.
But again, Final Fantasy XIV being the best example, you can turn these things around if you're dedicated enough to improving it. So, but that was announced last year, and we hadn't heard too much.
Mhm.
What this actual Bloomberg article is about is apparently EA is now not so certain whether they want to save this sinking ship.
Mhm.
What essentially was leaked was that EA is essentially going to have a meeting, and at that meeting, they're going to determine the fate of Anthem, whether they continue pushing forward with Anthem next and try and save this, or whether they just cut the cord and quit trying to resurrect this corpse. This is pretty interesting because, I mean, obviously this was leaked. This is not something you would normally announce. Be pretty weird. Just be like, hey, gamers, next week we're going to decide whether this game lives or dies. Again, not typically something you would announce. So that's why we only know of this because of leaks from a couple people from inside of EA. And this is very interesting because, again, like I said, games, it's tough and rare to save a game that struggles on release because usually you've lost. Again, the immediate player base has been lost, and it's going to be hard to get new players if all they've heard are bad things. But this game did have some cool ideas behind it. So there was some hope that they could do this, but now it's just all very, very up in the air. So I'm very curious whether this joins the endless graveyard of failures, or if this can become, if they really try and make something of this, and this can become another success story. And apparently we will not have to wait too much longer to find out.
I know. Catching up with the chat, we've got a point to Pridge for liking Dan's background wallpaper of Arcanine in the Discord.
Oh, Joe's, not Dan's.
Sorry, Joe. And
it's a good one. I like minimalist style wallpapers like that at times. They can be very cool.
I love that people are now getting points for things said in the Discord days ago.
Exactly. And,
hey, it was yesterday only.
And Matt gives a point. Matt asked, you said he doesn't have expendable income right now, but we seem like a cool bunch. We'll donate when he can. Absolutely. You don't have to donate to enjoy our content.
What we do will always be free.
Yes.
These dumb, goofy bits ain't going nowhere for money.
God damn it. I mean, nobody's going to be paying for it. It
won't be until the swimsuit calendar where we start demanding money for content.
That's true.
Exactly.
That will cost money.
But David points out, watching is supporting, and Matt gives him a point for that. Will showed up in the chat. Take away a point from Chris just because. And with that, David, it is your turn.
Get dunked.
What would you like to talk about?
I'd like to talk about Miranda's ass.
Who wouldn't, baby?
With a segue like that, please explain.
So, if you haven't been paying attention, Mass Effect getting a full remaster for all 3 games packaged together as the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. They've been talking about it, releasing screenshots, all that jazz. One of the things that came up is one of the developers has said that they went back and reviewed a lot of like the cutscenes and the dialogue options, and in a lot of very serious dialogues, the camera was completely inexplicably, I don't know why they would do this, pointing like directly at Miranda's ass with like Shepard's face in like the top like right third or whatever, but it was very much framed on Miranda's butt, which is for the time fantastic. Have video game butts evolved since then? Yes, they have.
Would you say that video game butts have come a long way since Pac-Man?
Video game butts have come a long way since Miss Pac-Man. Fuck, you took my joke, you piece.
I'm sorry.
It's my turn.
Give him a point. Give him a point.
And at first, as a gamer, you may be appalled by them taking out some ass shots in this game. And you know, normally I would maybe be on your side. However, they're making a good call here. I am about to spoil some parts of Mass Effect 2, so stop listening if you care. But Miranda, her whole character is based around, she's basically not a clone, but was created to be like the perfect woman. And that included like how smart she was, what abilities she had, all of her education, her body, everything. So like for the first part of the game up until you have that cutscene, it's kind of just like, yeah, Miranda is like kind of sexy, I'm into that. And then after that, there's like a pivotal moment where she gives you this information. You're kind of supposed to feel bad, which is what you should be feeling anyway. but like they just keep going with the ass shots. So they're like, you should feel bad. However, gonna keep doing it.
You should feel bad, but that ass though.
Butts.
But butts.
Butts. And I just think this is a good change. It gives me a little more hope because I do want to play this Legendary Edition. I love the Mass Effect games, even 3. Like I think they're all very good, minus a couple scenes. And I really think that updating the game, even with different camera shots, they couldn't take out everything. Like some of the stuff is like code issues, and they're like, we're not rewriting code or anything. We can move the camera so that it's not like this horrible. And I think that's it just is gonna make for a better game, and a lot of that context, which felt weird at the time still. Like even as when did that game come out? I think I was like a teenager, early college, something like that.
Yeah.
It felt weird. And now I can play the game and not feel weird at looking at Miranda's ass for the first part and then not doing it for the second. So it's just a great call.
Yeah,
Great
I think it's just a sign of the
There's
times
one,
move.
There's one they have to leave in. Go ahead.
Just one key thing for everyone, just in life: appreciate ass, do not objectify ass. Those are
There
the
we
words
go.
of wisdom I will give
Well
you.
worded. Well worded. Really quick, catching up with the chat. Again, great name. The Chat in the Hat gives a point to Pridge just for
Thanks, Joe.
reasons. Lost One takes away a point from me. That's not how that works.
Could be.
Chris gives a point to David for stepping on one of his bits. Part of me feels like I should take it away, but again, not how the show works. But Joe gives
Fair
a
enough.
point. Joe gives a point to David for that one time we won a game in Apex a couple of weeks ago. Very good, very good.
Respect.
What topic would you like to talk about next?
Wait, I had a good one and I totally lost what I was going to talk about because we spent so long doing bits. Oh, right. Let's talk about everyone's favorite terrible game company. Ooh, which topic could this be? There's so
Yeah,
many
right.
options, but this time it is once again Ubisoft.
Hey, there we go.
This is not that racist game that had to get canceled. This is another Rainbow Six joint. This one is called Rainbow Six Quarantine. And I'm just going to read the headline and give it some dead air for a second. Ubisoft is considering changing the name of the upcoming video game Rainbow Six Quarantine amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah, no fucking shit. How are we even this far into development? The game isn't out yet. Change the name. It doesn't matter. No one knows. No one cares. You can do whatever you want. And just because it's apparently really difficult, Ubisoft, to come up with a different name for a Rainbow Six top-down tactics shooter that I'm almost certain is a friggin' mobile game, and you could call whatever you want. Rainbow Six Hotspot, Rainbow Six I'm playing this on the toilet, Rainbow Six I'm on my commute for the day. Don't worry, the Save Data Discord has some wonderful names for you, and I'm just gonna read some of the selects that we came up with earlier today. This was Pridge's bit, so all power to him. On the first two that were dropped were Rainbow Six Pandemic and Rainbow Six Insurrection. Very good. Rainbow Six Pandemic I feel like is equally bad, but actually somehow like they could get away with it more than Quarantine. Rainbow Six Deep State, which has nothing to do with the game, but boy do I love that. Rainbow Six Sedition, Rainbow Six Pizzagate, Rainbow Six We Love You, You Very Special. I don't know how to do Trump. Zach getting in with Rainbow Six Subscribe to Save Data. Get that plug in, ladies and gentlemen. Find us on YouTube. You can type in Save Data. Rainbow Six I Love You. Rainbow Six Hey Champ, I'll still see you every other weekend.
That one is so good.
That one is that's oh. And one of mine that I feel like we really slept on, Rainbow Six I Don't Care, I'm having this baby.
I like
all my
that you
bit.
intro that joke by saying this joke was funnier and it was mine, so I'm gonna say it again to make sure people hear it this time.
Yeah, of course.
But it was
what's the point of this platform if I'm not allowed to do that?
It was a very good joke. Will in the chat says Ubisoft broke Chris, gives him a point. Dan gives a point. Just wait until they announce Rainbow Six Fall of the Cabal, which I give you extra points for the rhyme. That was very good.
That's really good.
Last one, Rainbow Six Raid the Capitol. Chat in the Hat, Rainbow Six Old Vegas. Rainbow 69 the Takeshi story.
That's really good.
Rainbow Six, Rainbow Seven. We can keep going
we
on
also
this.
Said, we said Rainbow Six, 4 seasons total landscaping.
That one was very
So
good.
So it's 6-4. That's
Yeah,
very
they should
good.
just call it Rainbow Seven. How powerful would that be?
Ooh, I like reading Rainbow Six.
Reading Rainbow Six.
William, that's a good one.
It's a good one.
Just take a
What
look.
if what
It's
if
in
what
a
if they
book.
pull like an Apple or Microsoft and just go straight to Rainbow 8?
That would also be very powerful.
Rainbow Six : starring LeVar Burton.
Rainbow Six, this time it's personal.
Damn it. All right. Enough Rainbow Six. Elise, what would you like to talk about next?
I'm also going to talk about the worst company in gaming.
Oh, ho.
Drum roll, please.
This time I'm talking about Riot.
Hey,
there it is.
I figured this was going to come up.
Yeah, this needs to be talked about. So we've had over the past 5 years numerous allegations of sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, horrible workplace treatment in general, especially of women and minorities at Riot. The news this week is that Shannon O'Donnell, a former worker for Riot, has filed a lawsuit against Riot's CEO, Nicola Laurent, and the company at large for sexual harassment and gender-motivated discrimination at her time at Riot. So I'm not going to go through everything because it's kind of horrifying.
There's also a lot, y'all. There's so much.
Yeah.
So, like, for one, numerous extremely bad sexual advancements made towards this person. Just horrifying. Also, making job benefits reliant on her acceptance of sexual conduct. Horrifying. Hostility and anger after she refused advances. Horrifying. And then she's suing Riot because it's, for one, this was their CEO. For two, they did absolutely fuck all to help her.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they put this guy on a suspension right when these allegations came out, and then he just came back to being the CEO a few months later.
I think you mean to put him on paid vacation.
Yeah, it was.
That was the COO. I don't think that was the CEO.
Throw them all out.
Essentially.
And on top of all that, they didn't pay her, or as she's saying, many other employees in a timely manner. So not just sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, but also wage theft, which is amazing. And by amazing, I mean horrifying. And if you want to get into the nitty-gritty details, you can read the article yourself. It's on IGN. I'm not going to do that on our stream. But then a spokesperson came out for Riot and basically said O'Donnell was fired from the company for complaints.
Yeah.
O'Donnell being the person filing this lawsuit. And saying basically fuck all about anything else. They're saying we've hired an investigator, which is what these companies always say, and then nothing fucking happens. And they do fuck all about it, especially considering it's Riot, where this has been happening for years and years. And we've known about it for years and years, and they've done fucking nothing. The entire company, or at least the entire leadership of the company, is complicit in everything that's happening here. And I hope that they get sued at their ass. It's not just Nicola Laurent that's being sued. There's a reason it's Riot that's being sued, and it's because the entire leadership of the company is complicit.
Yeah.
So firing one person, firing 5 people even, is going to do shit all when your whole company is rotten to the core.
Totally. Yeah. I mean,
this is still the farting in the face company. We should not let them get away from that.
I forgot about that.
Exactly. See, don't let them.
Yeah. Yeah, damn good point. Dan gives another point to Elise because fuck that.
Agreed.
Pridge, what would you like to talk about for the second topic?
All right. You know, they say it's not nice to kick a company while it's down, but that's what we're all about on this show.
Like, I feel like the last two topics and now this one are like, let's hate on a video game company, folks.
for the fourth time this show, which one?
This time, it's back to the old reliable Stadia.
Hey,
Light them up.
Google.
So, as I believe you guys talked about last week, Stadia's not making games anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oopsie daisy. So you know that thing many of us predicted would happen because Google likes to try things and give up on them happened. Wow, how surprising! Except that it's not surprising. But luckily, Stadia will still exist to where you can just play other games, but not Terraria.
Mm-mm.
Because the co-creator of Terraria got locked out of his Google account for 3 weeks. Got pissed when Google did nothing to help him, and then is now going to pull Terraria off of Google Stadia.
Yeah.
This is just great. It really is just like Google Stadia, like that frickin' Simpsons clip where the one guy just keeps walking into rakes that are smacking him in the face, and just like there's just tons of rakes and he walks into all of them. That's what Stadia is right now. It's just one fuck up after the other, and like coming off the heels of basically admitting you're giving up on making your own games, a thing that again was probably never going to work in the first place. Randomly losing the chance to have a really popular game on your service because you somehow lock the dude out of all of his accounts. Oh, it's a piece de resistance of fucking failure. So kudos to you, Google Stadia. Thank you for always giving us something to talk about in this show, because you have, I swear, given us like no less than like 20 topics over your very brief period of existence.
No less than 20.
Yeah, it's wild too, because obviously this made me think about like, oh, what would happen if I got locked out of my Google account, and it's like all of my emails, literally this entire YouTube channel, like all of this stuff would be completely ruined. And for him, like this is partially tied to his business of like being a game developer. So I cannot imagine what like all the complications and essentially business that this has lost him. So like, how do you not fix that when somebody with a big like if somebody has a verification check mark on their Twitter and they tweet at a company, something fucking happens. If you're a person who's sold 30 million copies of your indie game and it's going to show up on Google's fucking platform, you do something. You put somebody on it to fix this for them. But David, what would you like to talk about for the final topic of the show? Bring us home. We're almost at an hour runtime here.
I'm going to talk about a different topic, but quick shout out to the Warner Brothers patent for Shadow of Mordor. Zach is going to have a video for that, which will go into far more depth than any of us can.
It's I got a lot of opinions on it. I'm also replaying the game right now, so
so I feel like just watch that when it comes out. We're going to skip that one. Instead, I'm going to talk about CD Projekt Red yet again.
Man, bad company roulette this week.
The whole second round is just like, wow, fuck this company, huh?
I mean, this topic's less fuck this company.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
CD Projekt Red cannot catch a break. This week, they were hacked by a ransomware group called Hello Kitty. I shit you not. That is their name.
I didn't see that. It's amazing.
Who received a fantastic ransom letter of like, ooh, hello, we have hacked you. You've been epically pwned. I would like you to deposit $3 million into this account, please. Thank you. So pretty much a ton of their files got stolen. A ton of their files got encrypted, and they couldn't decrypt them. However, CDPR said they could restore them from backups, so that part wasn't a big deal. What made the headlines of this story, the source code for all of Cyberpunk, multiple versions of The Witcher 3, and I think Gwent, were all stolen, and the Hello Kitty group went onto the dark web and did an online auction for them, basically. They sold all of that code for $7 million, which nothing to sneeze at. CDPR probably spent a lot more than that making those different code bases in games, so
Undoubtedly.
undoubtedly they spent more. What's really just whoever bought this is a fucking idiot. Like, they're an absolute fucking moron. They're like, oh man, probably some rich fucker who knows nothing about game design. I'm gonna buy this engine and then I'm gonna start my own game studio and we're gonna make our own cyberpunk. Here's what's gonna happen, my dude. Here's what's gonna fucking happen. You're gonna make your studio. You'll be like, here's an engine. Your engineers are gonna be like, where did you get this? You're gonna say, don't worry about it. Found it on the side of the road, maybe on a USB stick at medieval times.
I was hoping for that reference. I'm hoping for that reference. Give a point.
And they're gonna
Very good.
your engineers, if you hire some less than savory ones, are gonna be like, okay, that's not true, but whatever, you're paying us, I don't care. You're gonna release a game, it's gonna suck. Because you probably hired people who are cool with using someone's engine that you stole that probably has references to CDPR, Witcher, and everything in there, so they're going to figure that out. And then you're going to make a game, you're going to release the game, and then CDPR is going to sue you because they're going to know it's their engine. Because it's really not that hard to tell most of the time. And then the courts are going to look at your files and be like, hey, these are CDPR files. And then all that money you spent plus more is going to go into the toilet. You're going to lose everything. And that's it. That's done. You gain nothing from this. This was fucking stupid. The only people that gained money from this were the ransomware people. Because they took a bunch of code that no one's ever going to be able to use and sold it for $7 million.
Yeah, actually,
couldn't they in theory just like sell this to a bunch of like phone game scalpers, like the guys who made all those Death Stranding ripoff games?
well, they did.
Yeah, but
One
they're
of
just
one of
gonna
the
get taken
things
down.
mentioned in the
Yeah,
article.
but more money.
One of the things mentioned in the article is that whoever they sold it to, they could not distribute it to other people. Again, I don't know how they would enforce that.
Yeah, that was one of the hacking group. That was one of their stipulations, is they can't distribute it or anything.
Will in the chat asked, do you think CDPR just bought it back under a different name? Which could be.
No, I doubt it. Like,
They probably just don't care.
Yeah.
It's like what I said, they're probably super pissed because they put a ton of work into it and someone just stole it and sold it. But like, realistically, if someone makes a game with it, like, good fucking luck putting the CDPR code on a phone.
Right.
Very good point.
Yeah,
Like,
and
have fun with that. It's not gonna work. Like,
Yeah.
So the realistic thing is, if something happens from the CDPR, is gonna probably just make more money by suing them into the ground. So like, this is really stupid. It's stupid. The ransomware people have done damage to CDPR. Like, if nothing, they lost a bunch of time having to restore all their backups, which sucks. And even though CDPR has been fucking shitty as hell lately, the people most inconvenienced by this are the developers. So they need a break. Please stop fucking
legitimately.
with them.
Matt
Like,
asked, oh, sorry, Elise?
No, I was just agreeing.
Oh.
Yeah, David, you know programming and stuff. How much does it theoretically cost to build an engine that robust?
I don't know enough to do it.
Like,
to
is
give you
it
that
like
cost,
hundreds of
but
millions, or is it like
probably not hundreds of millions, but like, you're talking dozens of engineers over multiple years. So, and that's just manpower. That's not including like supplies. So the general formula they use to compute cost for game development in general is essentially 10 grand a head per worker per month. And that's your general burn rate. So imagining, I don't know, third devs working on the CDPR engine, or sorry, not the
I mean, if you have 100 people, that's $1 million a month, which is just crazy to think.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, 30.
So
30
we're
30
talking
grand,
tens
1,000
of
a month.
millions. We're probably not talking hundreds of millions. Is my
That's a
that's
lot
a
of money.
guess. That's a back of the napkin.
That's a lot of Witcher copies.
It is. It's a ton. Like, the engine work is a significant chunk of development.
Matt in the chat asked,
I'm just thinking, like,
oh, sorry.
if we've learned anything from like Amazon Game Studios, and
Have we learned anything from that?
whatever countless other
Games are hard.
Games are fucking hard to
Yeah,
make.
there we go. There we go.
That's fair,
Games are
yeah.
hard to make. And look, I'm just gonna put out on a whim. I don't think the people who won this auction are seasoned game developers, or else they probably
Almost certainly
wouldn't
not,
have done
yeah.
Yeah, so watch, is it like
So
is
what
it
are
like
they gonna
Naughty
do with
Dog buying this
it?
engine?
It's
Yeah,
Jeff Bezos.
if they're mobile
Amazing.
game creators, they're just going to use Unity because it's
Mhm.
easier and it doesn't cost
Yeah.
$7 million
Very true.
and
Yeah.
won't get you sued. If they're like indie game developers, they don't have $7 million. If they're AAA developers, they've either got their own engine and either way don't want to be
I mean-
sued, or they're just using like Unreal or Unity or something because
Mhm.
those are fine engines that do good work.
A lot of the ones that make their own, like, you could gain a lot from seeing someone else's engine, like just how they do things and not straight copy code. But
But they're
none of
not
those
gonna-
companies are sketchy
7
enough
mil,
to go on
though?
the dark web and drop 7 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What if it's Soldier Boy getting back into the games industry?
Oh my
Oh, there
god,
we go.
that was a good joke. I'll give you that one. All right, I think with that we're gonna call it, which does mean David, Pridge, and Chris. It's time to go home and become family men because this week's winner is Elise. Elise, are you ready for your
All right.
minute to win it?
Hell yeah.
Take it away.
All right, I want to talk to you about a game called OpenTTD. That's Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe. You may have heard of Roller Coaster Tycoon. You may have heard of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. You've probably played it because everyone has. Well, before that, Chris Sawyer, the man who single-handedly made fucking Roller Coaster Tycoon in assembly, made Transport Tycoon single-handedly in assembly. And if you want to Tetris affect your brain out to train lines and fucking junctions and stations that will wake you up from your sleep at 4 a.m. and the only thing running through your mind is a made-up scenario of how can I get this train line to connect to that train line when there's a mountain in the way, pick up OpenTTD. It's free. It's been in development since like 2006 and they're still like making new updates. There's a new update like fucking yesterday. It's fucking it's a really fucking good game. It's about transporting passengers, coal, goods, whatever, from one place to another using trains, planes,
And
buses,
automobiles.
not automobiles, but buses and trucks and boats.
Wow. I mean,
Can I?
it sounds like you're just having like the witness effect where you
I
see
opened this in a new tab and went, no, I can't do this shit. I don't have time. I don't got time for this
like
shit.
Elise just turns around, looks at the floor, and just sees a bunch of tiny trains interweaving in their.
It's Queen's
No.
Gambit, but trains.
Yeah.
Really quick shout out to our chat. We did have at one point 19 people watching this stream, which for Around the Monitor,
I saw
Good night.
21 at one point.
them's good numbers. Around the Monitor doesn't always
That's-
break into double digits, so that's happy. But thank you again for watching. Again, we do this live on our Twitch, which is twitch.tv/SaveDataTeam every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This goes up on our YouTube and on podcast services the very next morning as an edited version. What else? We have, if you are watching live or just watching this later, the Sunday following this, which is February 14th, is actually my 30th birthday. 1 foot in the grave.
Old.
Yep. And we will be streaming from 2 p.m. till probably 9-ish, 10-ish p.m. Eastern Time. We do have a full schedule for that in our Discord. If you'd like to see that, we are going to be doing some Video Game Jeopardy, which means Steam code giveaways. So do not miss out on that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And Zach's not running either Jeopardies, which will be
That's
entertaining.
true. I will be playing in the Jeopardies while probably drinking myself into my 30s and an early grave.
Hey,
Other things to mention, David, we do have an episode of Save Data Cast tomorrow. Tell us about that.
Save Data Cast tomorrow, February 12th, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. Almost fucked that up. We're going to be talking Lucasfilm games. So it should be a fun time.
Absolutely.
What we want from them, what we think we'll get, all that sort of stuff.
Chris, do you have something to talk about?
Oh yeah, I'll talk about the Save Data expanded cinematic universe. That includes our friends over at the Debate This Cast. They are on all podcast services, Twitch, and I guess YouTube. They do put their VODs up there. I hopped to actually in their stream yesterday. They were playing Persona 5 Royal. Great game. So check that out. Check out Subpixel Team on YouTube, Twitter, everything else like that. In particular, right after this stream in 17 minutes, it's their podcast, Local Chat. David was on an episode. I'm on tonight's episode, talking about more of the stuff we talked about last night. More memes though. Less, I don't know, less of the usual discussion you used to here. Shout out to, we mentioned them just a minute ago, Ohio and the Green 8 Ball. That's Jason and Rob. Switch the names. Hio590 on Twitch. He streams mostly League of Legends only. And the Green 8 Ball on Twitch. He streams Fire Emblem. In case you want to watch Fire Emblem and learn things about the deep systems of Fire Emblem by a man who knows far too much about Fire Emblem.
There we go.
I think that's everybody.
Matt in the chat says Subpixel stream. Chris plays Roblox. That's actually a good idea. It's actually a very good idea. Which one of us will make him do it first? Tune in and find out.
I mean, Zach's trying to get that Fortnite stream going. Zach, the Fortnite guy.
I fucking hate you. This joke is not even
Everybody,
good.
talk about it in the chat. Talk about it in the chat how much he loves
Chris,
Fortnite.
the guy who runs two very bad jokes into the ground to the point that they maybe turn around again.
Yeah, exactly.
Can he do it with Fortnite and Zach? Let's stay tuned and find out.
If I dig this hole deep enough, eventually
You'll
will
show
turn
up in
these
China.
jokes into diamonds.
Will is right. Zach does love microtransactions.
Shut
He loves
the- I
microtransactions in
I
Fortnite.
hate all of
He's
this.
big into the Fortnite battle passes. He knows every single release and update, all those
I
V-Bucks.
hate you. Elise and Bridge, anything to plug?
You know what? Fuck it. If y'all are interested in learning about Marxism, this weekend, my organization Fight Back is running the Marxist Winter School online. You can sign up at marxist.ca/school. We've got sessions running all throughout the long weekend. Things like the American Civil War to end slavery, the need for a socialist planned economy, the Irish struggle for freedom, among others. Check it out. It's going to be great.
Fuck yeah.
That's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you for watching, and this has been Around the Monitor. See, I did it.